Alright guys, and now we're taking it back to the old school with a Warcraft 3 The Frozen Throne 1v1 showdown. So as far as the matchup goes, it's going to be my Undead facing off against the Orcs of my opponent. So the map is going to be the Last Refuge, which is a relatively close quarters map as far as I know, but just a bit of a disclaimer guys. This is the first game I've played in probably about 4 or 5 months, or I guess since the last one I uploaded on the channel. So I haven't been playing in between then. I even had to make a new account because my old one did go defunct unfortunately. But on that note guys, let's jump into the match and have some fun and just a bit of history. This Warcraft 3 The Frozen Throne was by far my favorite game back in the day, and it just always holds a special place in my heart. So it's been a while since I've actually looked at a replay here, so we got to turn off the fog of war so we can see everything. And yes, this is going to be my opponent. So as far as the perspective, let's actually go ahead and watch it from my perspective. I think that would make sense. So I'm going to be up in the top right. I will indeed be playing the Undead, and I'm going to be going with a Fiend opening. So I actually forget the exact build order because when I used to play this game, well, I'm 30 years old now, and back when I used to play, I think I was maybe 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 in that range. I played for about 5 or 6 years very actively, hardcore, and it's such a goddamn good game. And on that note, would you guys like to see Warcraft 3 Reforged on the channel? Because Blizzard is actually releasing a Reforged, which is going to be a complete remaster of this game, and it actually looks pretty nice. So if you guys are interested, let me know. So up here, I'm going to be going with the Fiend opening, like I said. You can see I'm going with the Altar of Darkness, the Ziggurat, and the Graveyard. So for anyone who doesn't know Warcraft 3, the Altar of Darkness is essentially what spawns your hero, and every faction has one. For the Orcs, it's going to be the Altar of Storms down here. But the build I'm going with is actually a bit of a delayed hero build. So my Death Knight is going to be coming out a little bit slower than my opponent's Blade Master. I believe he uses a Blade Master, I think that's what it was, but it's going to be coming out a little bit slower than his Blade Master, but at the cost of getting Fiends quicker. So I have a Crypt and a Graveguard coming up. The Graveyard is the prerequisite building to build Crypt Fiends, which are those spider crawling things that shoot webs. They look really cool. So I'm going to be going with Fiends, and that's pretty much the most competitive way to play the Undead, in my opinion. It's just Fiends with Death Coil and Nova, and just getting the Unholy Aura just makes you so fast and so snipey. It's very, very tough for most people to handle. My opponent, in the meantime, is going to be going with a Blade Master opening. He has a couple workers doing the wood, so it looks like he's got 4 of those bad boys. And he's going with the Barracks. So Barracks, of course, is where they make their standard Orc infantry, and he is going to be going with the second burrow to make sure he doesn't get supply blocked. So good stuff there so far. So you can see here, the Death Knight is going to be coming out. As far as the progress goes, he's at about 15%, give or take. And if you look at my opponent's Blade Master, he is way ahead of me. So my opponent is going to have a little bit of an intrinsic advantage if he wants to do some early harass or creep a little bit. But my troop quality will simply be better because I'm going to be getting Fiends right away, which are very good against grunts, especially with the Unholy Aura. You can kite them, you can shoot them. Kiting, of course, is a little bit hard without the Unholy Aura, but that's why you get the Death Knight. So we're going to be power creeping. Death Knight's coming out a little bit late, but we are about to finish our Tomb of Relics. So the Tomb of Relics is like a shop where you can buy potions, you can buy dust that actually reveals invisible units, which is very good against orcs. But yeah, it's very solid. My opponent going to be doing his camp down here, taking the damage on the Blade Master, which shouldn't be an issue if he has a shop coming up. So I don't see a shop quite yet for my opponent. He definitely needs to get that up ASAP if he's going to be taking damage like this on the Blade Master. Otherwise, his creeping is going to be going a little bit slow. But he does get a very good item right away. He actually gets the Claws of Attack, which is a little bit unfortunate for me. It's a very good item for the Blade Master. It gives him that real heavy punch to kind of snipe out my characters and my Crypt Fiends and all that sort of stuff. So the Blade Master going in here, creeping the first camp, not quite level 2. It's one of the easier green camps, and I'm going to be doing the same thing. Now with my Death Knight, I grab a Staff of Necromancy. I believe it's what it's called. It's been so long. The Rod of Necromancy here from the shop, and I'm going to be dropping it here on my Graveyard. So that's what's cool about building the Graveyard first. Also, is you get the corpses with the Graveyard. If you zoom in, you can see these little bodies. You can use those to actually summon dead with the Necromancy staff. So you use those guys to actually tank the creep camps. Therefore, you don't really have to take damage on your Death Knight here or my Crypt Fiend. Granted, I screw it up all the time, but nonetheless, it's pretty, a valid tactic. My opponent is going to be moving on to a second camp, so he probably will be getting level 2 ahead of me by killing that character. He does get the Mantle of Intelligence. Now, the Blade Master is an agility hero, so he's not going to be getting a main stat line and damage from that, but he's still going to be getting extra mana because intelligence is the basic stat that gives you the mana. So here you can see his grunts actually taking a lot of damage. So his army's pretty beat up here, but I would imagine a shop's going to be coming out. So you can see the Voodoo Lounge, and the Orcs actually have access to a really good healing item called the, I think it's just called the Healing Salve. I'm going to be going on to my second camp, but not that far behind my opponent. And if our armies were to go fisticuff right now, 2 Crypt Fiends plus my Knight and my Summons, I should have a pretty good situation if he were to kind of do a timing push on me right now or any sort of attacks. And I'm also going to be grabbing a Skeleton Warrior. So this guy's going to be going downtown to do some scouting. I just wanted to see what his hero was. Does he have a Blade Master? Is he going for a Farce here? Is he looking to creep and maybe have some Chain Lightning going on? I just want to see. Just kind of getting in there, figuring things out a little bit. So anyways, here, my Fiends are going to be pushing downtown. Just probably going to be creeping another camp here. I thought about doing a timing, but I was like, you know what? Level 3 on the Death Knight is incredibly good, so let's get that before we push in. And as far as tech goes, my Necropolis, I'm still level 1, so typically higher level play, people are going to tech a little bit faster. In this case, I was a little bit behind because my build order was screwed up and I didn't have enough ghouls. but it's okay. So we're going to be going to tier 2 now, which is going to give us our Halls of the Dead, which allows us to get a second hero. So for anyone who hasn't played Warcraft 3, at each tier, there's 3 tiers, you get access to another hero. So you start with one, and that's what's so great about this game, having the RPG element. Like, I love leveling up a hero, and that's also what I really like about Total War Warhammer, is having like these heroic characters kind of mixed in with your army. It's something that I actually missed quite a bit in StarCraft, but StarCraft's still a great game. So anyways, over here I do drop a dust. So I use my Dust of Appearance, and the reason I do this is because the Blade Master is infamous for being annoying. He can sneak in with his Windwalk ability, Stealth. He can actually last hit your creep, and how it works in this game is if somebody actually hits your creep with the last killing blow, they get all the experience for it, and then he can grab your item, just run away with his Stealth, and it's very punishing. So I use that ability right there to kind of scout my opponent out, make sure he wasn't going to snipe my item, to ensure that I get level 3 and just am in good shape. So I also use a Death Coil right there on my Crypt Fiend. Things are going pretty good. I'm level 3. My opponent does have a level 2 hero. Pretty early on the level 2, so he's a little bit behind on creeping. I think he was waiting for stuff to heal with the salves there. And he does also have the Alchemist. So the Alchemist, a very competitive pick. If any of you guys watch competitive Warcraft 3, like gentlemen like Grubby, it gives him some pretty sustainable healing on these very high HP units. You get these 700 HP on a Grunt compared to my 550 on a Crypt Fiend, so they're pretty tanky. So we're getting on this camp here. I'm about to be a level 2 here, which is going to give me access to the Lich. Now the Lich is going to be super, super solid. And I just totally noticed that in the bottom left corner it shows. Maybe I'll edit that up. So stand by, guys, stand by. So the Death Knight's going to be creeping up that camp. We're going to be heading south now. I'm feeling pretty confident. I have the Unholy Aura, which gives you speed and regeneration. If you guys look here, you can actually see it. It does increase movement speed and hit point regeneration. So it's just so good. I mean, you can go with the Dreadlord, and I'll probably put up a game for you guys just for entertainment, just, you know, with some ridiculous meme builds. And what I actually really want to do is do like a community free-for-all with you guys on the channel, where we get a bunch of people and actually like do that big 20-man FFA game. I think that would be insane. So my opponent's up here creeping. Pretty good little situation for me. He does get the camp, but one of the best things about Orcs is sniping their burrows. So I come in, I see some workers on the periphery. I'm like, okay, this is going to be a freebie. Let's kill these peons. And then I just run. Now that was a huge play for me. And it might not seem like it, but it forced my opponent to use the item he starts with. So everyone starts with the Scroll of Town Portal, which costs 350 gold to replace. It's a very like powerful thing, right? Getting back to your base, being able to teleport your entire army, get out of bad situations if you're caught. And now my opponent doesn't have that. So he's out that item. I got in. I also killed the peon, which is nice for like shutting down his work production. But that was a great little situation. So now my dude's just going to be going up creeping. I forced him back to his base. So let's go ahead and take out the Orb Magi here. And from there, we're going to get some good items. And I believe I get a Potion of Greater Mana, which I'll end up using this replenishment potion in my inventory, which just kind of is a little bit of a casual healing. So as far as my itemization, I have a Cloak of Shadows, which allows me to hide at night. There is a day and night cycle in this game. You can see up on the top, it is daytime, it's about to be night. Sobi Mask increases mana regeneration, which is very good. Ring of Protection. But anyways, my opponent coming in here with all these angry grunts. He does have a level 1 Alchemist, and his Blade Master, I believe, is level 2 as well. So he's currently going to be stealth. He's charging in, and he's going to be actually assassinating one of my fiends here. This fiend is very, very low. He's probably going to be able to get it. And yeah, to that burst damage, using the Alchemist, the potion, I believe it's acid attack of some sort. He's able to use that there and get some really good value. So I'm pulling back. He's doing a lot of damage. He kills a fiend, and he also kills one of my Crypt Fiend, not my fiend, my fiend, plus the Troll Berserker that I have. So I'm going in, I'm counterpunching, I'm trying to kill these guys, but he actually has a couple that are illusions because he has the Staff of Illusion, the Wand of Illusion. So I accidentally nuked a couple of the illusions, which was very bad, but I'm feeling confident. My heroes are strong, my Lich is out now. I'm going to go in, I'm going to be dropping some thunder right here on this guy, and it looks like there was another illusion right there. So things are just getting wild. He's going in to assassinate my Death Knight, but I was okay with that. I'm like, I'm going to fall back, I'm going to lure him in, let him think he's going to be able to get me. I'm going to fall back in this pocket here. He'll then get hit by the slowing tower if he comes too far, and you can see he's popped, he's getting novaed by my Lich, and bam, we kill the Blade Master. Beautiful situation. Now we get level 4, we get the Death Pact, which means I can actually heal off my own unit. So he thinks he can still kill me, but I'm going to be using the Death Pact to sacrifice my Ghoul over here, which then allows me to heal my Death Knight up to a pretty good portion. And now we also have a Slaughterhouse online. So the Slaughterhouse is going to give me the Obsidian Statues, which allow me to heal and do some pretty good work. And we're just going to kind of chase him and pick things off. And it looks like he does sacrifice one Grunt, but I still do have this Potion of Mana. So it costs 75 mana for a Death Coil. So I'm just chasing him down, using these Death Coils to pick apart his grunts, trying to minimize the strength of his army as I do chase him across the map. So he does use a potion right there to try and heal him up. That's a healing salve. It's like a healing over time, but I do use another Death Coil, and the Death Knight is so damn fast with that Unholy Aura. So in the base, I do have my Slaughterhouse, and I'm going to level 3 as well. So once I get to level 3, I will get a third hero. I'll probably end up getting the Dark Ranger from the neutral shop. So there's a tavern in the middle in which you can recruit characters. I'd probably get a Dark Ranger just to use the silence to nuke his Blade Master, because I can silence him, he won't be able to stealth, and then from there I can just blow him up. And it's very, very it goes very well with this build. It's a very powerful ranged character. So he's forced on his back legs now. You can see that nifty Gurglebeaker here is back in his base. He's got a couple grunts left. They're all full health. He does use the acid potion right here. And actually, I believe, lowers armor. Yeah, reduces armor and also does damage over time. So I do try and snipe out this grunt, but he barely gets away from me. And my lapse right there, I actually lose a fiend. So I wasn't paying attention. I used my coil to try and snipe instead of healing, which was a little bit noobish, but it's okay. We have overwhelming firepower. I'm going to be switching, using a coil to heal up this fiend, and just trying to burn down the grunts right now. I have such overwhelming forces. I'm just going to be microing them away from him, forcing him to kind of decide where he wants to go. But the Blade Master is back. I am getting a grunt, so he doesn't have much left in the way of troops. But the Blade Master is like a one-man army. He comes in, Rambos, gets a critical strike and kills before I'm able to coil there, which is nice. But he also takes a beating, punishing him for sitting in there and trying to snipe me out. And I do have a coil, and I'm able to nuke the Blade Master, putting him down. And for any of you guys who are coming from a Total War Warhammer perspective, just think of how good it feels to like take out a Wood Elf Lord. Think like that times 100 for playing against the Blade Master. So we do kill the Blade Master, and as far as the game goes, we did pretty good on unit score, hero score. We were ahead in most aspects. The resources was about the same, but our creeping was pretty efficient. We were able to pressure him, force the town portal, creep up our heroes, get that advantage. And despite a couple sloppy plays, like losing a Fiend as well as my Berserker early on, sometimes you just have to pay that toll to the Blade Master. He went all in with those Windwalks and was really trying to burn me down, but the heroes were pretty good, level 4 and level 2, and level 3 and level 2 for him. And yeah, we killed 2 heroes. He did kill a lot of unit kills as far as like just going through my army, but for the most part, we were able to kite their grunts, pick them apart using our magic and our fiends and our movement to really do well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. That's Warcraft 3, The Frozen Throne. It was a very quick game, and unfortunately the games are a little bit long and micro-intensive, so I can't play too many in a row because of my hand problem. But if you guys want to see more, let me know. I'll gladly grab Italian Spartacus and Professor Pone and Lore Master of Sotek and just all kinds of these gents who have played this in the past. And any of you guys, if you guys want to play Warcraft 3, let me know. And perhaps we'll organize some sort of an event. That would be a blast. Just doing like a big free-for-all or just a big 3v3. One of the best things about this game, and this game match was more of like a micro-intensive short battle with some nuking, but typically the best and most exciting thing about Warcraft 3 is getting to tier 3, getting these big monsters and just having these awesome fights. So it's really fun for sure. But yeah, I'll be putting up more. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this Undead versus Orc game, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks again for watching.